She's always saying that he hurt me and he took it away. I've never figured out what that meant yet. What the hell is this? I'm scared.
I know there was something right here when I walked by.
Wait. There's something in front of you now.
My name is Alec Cornelson. I've been investigating the paranormal for over 30 years. I've worked with a lot of paranormal groups, but I've noticed something missing: unity. Groups aren't communicating or relating to each other. I want to change that, so we can work together to find answers to the unexplained. Together with a crew, we will follow paranormal groups to their most haunted locations to document and share their individual techniques and unique styles, as well as discover their strengths
You're not allowed to do that to us.
and weaknesses along their journey, and to discover our own vulnerabilities along the way.
Okay?
After all, unity is what we strive for in this Paranormal Nation. Tonight on Paranormal Nation, we'll be following Michelle and Kelly, the founders of a Northeast Iowa paranormal group known as RIP, or Riverside Iowa Paranormal. Both of these women are sensitives who enhance their natural skills with technical devices, and they'll be taking us to one of their favorite haunted locations, the McInteer Villa in Atchison, Kansas. If you're familiar with ghostly lore, you may recognize that city as being the home of the notorious Sally House. In fact, RIP believes the two locations are connected, and that the city as a whole may be the hub of the otherworldly. So stay tuned as we meet Michelle and Kelly and observe how they tune in and communicate with the spirits that inhabit the gorgeous McInteer Villa. In the last 50 years, there's been a resurgence of paranormal investigation. It's a new version of the spiritual movement from the 1900s. And during this time, small groups formed around the nation to investigate potential haunted locations on their own. What's missing has been unity. Our goal is to meet these small groups, to let them show us their favorite haunted locations, and take the time to learn from their techniques so we can share them with others. So instead of competing, we can cooperate in a mutual goal to collect evidence that will prove paranormal exists beyond reasonable doubt. And together we'll unify as a paranormal nation. I gathered a couple of my friends from the world of paranormal documentary, and I asked them to be a part of this project. Jim Martin, because of his experience with cameras, editing, and paranormal gear. Erin B. Lillis, because of her sense of humor and ability to tell a story, as well as her spiritual interest. I believe that together, we can get a balanced look at the styles of different investigators and their teams. I found our first group to profile and was excited to introduce them. For the whole concept of Paranormal Nation, I found a really remarkable group of individuals, and they seem to suit what I'm trying to generate here. And what I'm trying to generate is showing the country, showing the world that there are normal, everyday people out there trying to come up with the same kind of conclusions and answers as all these very professional groups are, but I feel like they're being overlooked.
Who are you introducing us to?
I am introducing you to RIP, Riverside, Iowa Paranormal.
So not like Rest in Peace?
Yeah, how clever is that?
It is clever.
Yeah.
This group is very unique. They build and design their own equipment.
Yeah.
You know, they have some of the cutting edge technology that's available, but they rely a lot on what they build themselves. And they're witty, they're smart, You know, they each of them bring something different to the table.
Do they fit the group criteria that we're looking for? Like,
Absolutely.
are they willing to share their information?
Absolutely. These guys, they want the world to see what they do, and they want to share with the world what they do.
So that's perfect.
It's like hand in hand, and I think they're going to knock it out of the park.
So they're going to let us film them?
They're going to let us film. They're going to allow us to follow them around. We explained to them we're not going to be stepping on their toes. We're going to let them just be who they are. We're going to step back and we're going to just absorb everything.
They can show us some of their techniques and styles.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So do they use psychics or anything?
Yes. And actually, it's those two founding members of RIP that we're going to be meeting. Kelly is a group empath, and Michelle is a psychic medium.
My name is Michelle. Physical medium is, I see dead people, but not like your psychic mediums. I don't give love notes. I see them as their true form. So if somebody was shot and that's how they passed, I would see them in that form of being shot.
I'm an empath sensitive, but I'm also a healer. What it is for the sensitive and the empath is I can feel the spirit's emotions. If they're crying, I can feel it, and then I'll start crying. I can feel when they're mad.
We actually have a pretty big group. Riverside, Iowa Paranormal. Our main focus is helping families. We do a lot of homes and businesses, and I actually help a lot of the kids.
Michelle is the founder of Riverside, Iowa Paranormal. Her and I, we've been doing it for years, and so we decided, you know what, let's just get a group together and start doing this and see how it works out.
Michelle and Kelly arranged for us to visit their favorite and active haunted location, the McInteer Villa in Atchison, Kansas. There, we would watch their techniques and experiment within the environment that they're both familiar with. This also allows other groups to investigate this incredibly active location.
I heard that whole town is haunted.
They say that Atchison is the most haunted town in Kansas. It sits directly on the banks of the Missouri River.
Okay,
So you think maybe that water flowing through there is the conduit?
I think
Some
it
kind of
is.
energy flowing?
I think it is. And with this year in particular, with all the flooding going on, I think it's the ideal time to investigate this location.
We're at the McInteer Villa in Atchison, Kansas. This home is amazing. It has different dimensions, different levels of things that go on here. Because of the long history in this home, you have a little bit of everything going on.
The McInteer Villa is a residence built in 1889 for John McInteer, a harness and saddle maker. It was home to his first and second wives and later relatives until it became a boarding house in 1925. In 1952, it became a personal residence again until it was eventually sold to the current owners. Michelle and Kelly took us on a tour of the location, telling us what techniques and tools they were planning on using during the investigation.
We're actually going to be using the Pandora voice-activated recorder.
While they showed us the sitting room on the first floor, we already began picking up activity.
The second room, which is, I guess they call the smoker's room in there, that is where a vet had committed suicide. The doll room that they have, that's just creepy to me because of the dolls. I'm not really, you get things there, but not a lot. But I think the new doll they've brought into the home is gonna be kind of interesting. I actually have the other dress. I still think it's her dress. Here's her dress. This actually was the owner's first wife, her dress. We have used this here a couple times in like a seance. We might use it later on to do a seance too, because it normally will start revving up some action here. And she doesn't like it very much when you're touching her stuff.
No, she don't. When you're holding her dress, she gets really, really angry. She doesn't like anybody to hold her dress.
Again, we picked up activity during the tour in the room containing all of the children's toys. You can hear on both of our cameras' audio that it sounds like a baby's laughter or cooing.
Oh.
Because I was holding it up for you. Okay, go ahead.
Oh.
Because I was holding it up for you. There is a woman in the attic. I believe they say her name's Goldie. I'm not sure if that is her, but I know I've heard that the children across the road in the school have seen a lady walking up there back and forth. I personally can't say I've ever met Goldie here yet, but there's always going to be a first time.
In the attic, Michelle and Kelly introduced us all to the owner's skeleton friends. The current owners of the villa have a sense of humor about the mansion's spirits. And they spend a lot of time decorating the house for Halloween and guest events.
This here is where we go to the basement. Watch your step as you're going down because it kind of spirals down a little bit. All right. In the basement, yes, there is a lot. There's anger, there's happiness, there's some that are scared. They're wanting to talk, but they're scared because it's like somebody is keeping them back from trying to talk.
You know, that truth beyond truth. You have what's in the books, and then you have that second layer that is not in the books because it was a taboo to talk about things like that. The basement had all different things happen there.
In previous visits to the location, RIP have received communication from spirits in the basement via their perceptive talents as well as some of their investigative tools. One of the things they've tried is a Windows computer software. It's called the Phasma Box. It uses a mix of sound banks, reverb, and optionally includes some internet radio stations. So the software is basically supplying spirits with a collection of words and voices so that they can choose from those in order to try and communicate with investigators.
They keep saying there's something hidden behind the bricks. And every time I've been here, they always draw me down into the one area where they used to get the delivery of things, saying something's behind the brick wall.
When we've used the Phasma Box, it always says something about a letter. There's a letter behind the wall. There's a letter behind the wall. You need to get the letter.
It's actually two females. I don't know who they are. I would have to say they're probably back from the late 1800s because of the clothes, but their clothes is really, it's ripped up and shattered, so they're, you know, not in elegance. And they keep saying the secrets are behind that wall. It comes up all the time.
So I'm understanding that there was like the Underground Railroad was involved here?
All of Atchison, yes. Mm-hmm. It was huge here in Atchison because it was running, I believe, over there by the Sally House too.
What about the house here?
This house here is crazy because the gentleman who actually was had this house actually is from Iowa because he was making leather work, so he was making saddles and everything, and that's how he became rich. This was one of the richest towns in the United States back in those days. They had, 14 millionaires in one little town. So you had your brothels, you had everything here.
With that kind of money, you would think there'd be a lot of mob ties here too.
So the restaurant, old mob ties. The restaurant actually burnt once, and when they went in, they found all sorts of stashed money and different things. So there was a lot of mob ties here too. But yes, there was so much money in this one town. You had brothels, you have everything. And this house was also used. So when I'm here, I've talked to them, the doctor from the Sally House, he was the town's doctor. He probably had been here too because there were a lot of women here.
Here Michelle's referring to another location in Atchison, the Sally House, which was popularized by an 80s television show called Sightings.
Welcome to Sightings. I'm Tim White. Recently, we brought you the story of a Midwestern family that's been plagued by bizarre haunting activity.
That show profiled a house and a reported ghost named Sally, amongst others, in what used to be the home of Dr. C.C. Finney. Dr. Finney practiced medicine during the late 1800s to early 1900s, and during that time he attended to half of the births in the city. Fun fact, he later became the mayor of Atchison.
I think the women who worked at the brothels actually were here. I think if they were pregnant or if they got beat up, I constantly feel that that's what happened. And some of them might have had their children here. That I haven't gotten yet, but I have seen like children taken from them. And I'm not sure exactly how that all falls in. Because I always get this lady named Eleanor here, and she's always wanting to tell her story. And she kept saying he was hurting us. The doctor from the Sally House, him and his mother and his brother, since they were the only ones here in town, he actually experimented too. And these people had no families or anything, so I think there was more experiments on the people that, you know, if they went missing, who was going to miss them?
Yeah.
So, you
But
know,
It's a whole
Yeah, but-
different level on things.
But also too, a lot of the prostitutes, if they were pregnant, they came here, and they did let them stay here
Yeah.
to have their babies.
some
But
did, some
it was
didn't.
like a
halfway house.
halfway house, yeah. It was security for them, so that way nobody would bother them or anything like that. They just
And there's a lot of mistresses that were here, you know, so
So did this act as a brothel
yes.
too?
it had a little bit of everything, yeah.
Now that we know the lay of the building and what spirits Michelle and Kelly plan on focusing on, it's time for the two women to begin their investigation. We're there to observe, participate if invited, and to learn from their techniques, but don't want to interfere with their process.
I actually do a prayer for myself because they do bombard me. So I take a couple minutes to myself just to kind of get my breath and before I open myself up to start bringing them down the stairs.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Got it.
All right.
Now, you've investigated here before, right?
Yes.
Several times. Do you believe that there's any kind of intelligent haunting going on here, or is it primarily all a residual?
There's intelligence in
Yeah.
here too. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
So what do you guys have planned next to start the evening off with?
I'm going to light these candles, and then we're going to turn the lights out, and we're going to have like a little seance. And we're going to bring some of the spirits in to help us tonight.
Sort of like opening the door.
We're kind of opening
Yeah.
the door. We're going to call on the ancestors. We're going to call on spirit. We're going to ask them to make sure they can let everybody know that this is a safe place and we're here to hear their stories.
Oh, cool. So we're at right here?
Right
Yep,
here.
right here.
Well, let's get started.
All right.
Seance comes from the French word meaning session. Essentially, a seance is when a group of people gather together to call spirits or entities from other planes. It can be a ritual or a spiritual ceremony, but in this particular case, it's more of a symbolic gesture, letting the other side know that we're interested in communicating.
We would like to hear your stories. You are welcome here. You have no fear of us. If there are any spirits here with us right now, can you let us know?
After Kelly asks for a spirit to let us know if something is present, we hear an unidentified noise, and our camera picks it up as well.
Keep talking.
Is anyone here? Can you tell us your name? We mean you no harm.
We were just asked to leave. That we're not supposed to be here tonight. Strange.
Why do you don't want us here?
Turned his back and walked away.
Our microphones also pick up what sounds like footsteps upstairs.
That was strange.
It was actually, I would have to say maybe a slave-looking person, darker complexion. But it had blue dress, torn blue dress, not white. And really dirty feet. Like really dirty feet, like they've been tromping through mud.
She's scared.
No, she mad. She says we need to get out of here. But you know what? Is there a cemetery close to here?
Excuse me?
A cemetery close to here?
Yeah, it's about a half mile down the road to the west.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
She's from there.
It's literally straight.
See, because I didn't know where the cemetery was here. I've never even, because I don't go to them. But that's what she looks like she's been messing through mud, like trampling through mud, and she's not from this house.
I just got really creepy, just a thought, with all the flooding that we're having right now in this area. It's a good possibility that some of these graveyards could be submerged and that these spirits have been washed around and now they're finding their way to
Different areas
Exactly.
where the energy is building up. That would make sense.
Where the water's flowing.
I would guess so, because like I said, she didn't look like she belonged here, but she's trying to tell us to get out of here. But she's not from here. And then she turned her back and just went out.
You said we're not supposed to be here tonight.
Yeah, she said
Yeah.
tonight. which is really odd. I have no clue.
I wonder if she knows what time she's in.
I don't know.
But it's a blue dress, and it's almost silky, like a silky blue dress.
That is strange, because back in them times, the slaves didn't have the silky dresses unless she was in a house and she was one of the servants, and for some reason she ran out.
And I don't know what era she's from, to be honest. I can't say. I just know she has olive skin. That is so odd. And then she turned around and went that way. So I don't know if she went upstairs or not.
Michelle and Kelly recorded the audio from the seance session with a series of devices. And after Michelle encountered the woman, they decided to immediately review what was captured on one special piece of equipment.
We're actually going to be using the Pandora voice-activated recorder.
What Michelle is referring to as a Pandora is actually the Panasonic RR-DR60 IC recorder, a piece of equipment that is now hard to find and generally overpriced when you can find it on sites like eBay.
The Pandora is the old Panasonic voice recorders that the doctors used back in the 80s. That's where they used to do their dictation on. And when the transcriber was trying to do it, they kept saying, you know, who'd you have in the room with you? Why was it so busy and noisy? Well, the frequency of those are so high that it was picking up other stuff. And finally, they're like, well, we can't use these anymore. And they sent them all back to Panasonic, and Panasonic just stopped making them. Well, then somebody in the paranormal field had figured out you can actually use it, and you used to have a $20 gadget. That's about $1,500 to $3,500 gadget now. But best thing, have one of those. You don't really need anything else. You'll ask a question, and you wait about 15 seconds. And then you would ask another question.
We call the spirits and the ancestors.
We call the spirits and the ancestors.
And welcome the spirits here. We would like to hear your stories. You are welcome here.
We would like to hear your stories. You are welcome here.
So what happens is when you're not catching like spirit voice, did you hear how it sounded like she was a fast forward speaking just now, like boom, 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 boom? Well, that's because nothing was going in between her. But then when you hear it, it ends up catching something right there.
While there were some false positives on the audio, we were able to debunk all of the unidentified sounds by reviewing our footage. So everyone was ready to move on.
Hey, I heard you. Where you at? Are we playing hide and seek?
Back in the same room, the doll room, the duo has an uncomfortable experiment planned to test Michelle's ability in a different way.
I have never not been in control. I've always seen and hear. Probably take all my senses away with the dolls and see what we can pick up. That one terrifies me.
What's so special about this doll?
It's not a good doll. It's, can I say dark? It's not come of light. Well, the first time I seen it, I touched it and pretty much took 3 steps back. It's very, very bad. The hair on it I got from a child, but it wasn't, it's hard to explain because I didn't keep it long enough.
When Michelle met the marionette for the first time, she recommended to the owner that they keep it locked away in a cabinet and bless it. Tonight, the owner has left the cabinet unlocked for RIP's investigation.
But they did left it open because I'm going to actually try to pull it out tonight and sit it on my lap and see what I get from it. I do not do dolls at all, or clowns. You know, I can walk in a nightmare all the time, but those two will scare me to death.
Now, I understand this doll has actual human hair.
Yes,
Is that-
child's hair.
What do you call that?
A marionette.
Marionette.
Yes.
Yeah. So it has all the cords to it.
Yes.
And we were up there earlier.
And that door opened by itself.
It
and
was if that it like kicked one leg out. We didn't see it. It was actually
We were walking
a
out.
personal experience. We were walking away, and you were jumping up and down, trying to get the door to pop back.
Yeah,
open.
I like to
It never
debunk
happened.
everything I possibly can.
So that was pretty interesting. Yeah.
But if you think about it, back in those days, they didn't have a lot of money. You got one doll. So the children who had these dolls, They put all their energy into these dolls. They went everywhere. They did everything.
All those emotions are just basically
Everything's trapped in
indelibly
those.
imprinted
Yes.
right,
Right.
into that material.
All the emotions and everything
Okay.
you put in there, yeah.
So that's why I believe they have a life of their own. Not like in the movies, but you know, a life of their own.
So technically, would that be a residual type haunting?
I would say so. I would say so.
Yeah.
Because it's more of an imprint of all the energies that they put in. I'm going to have you help me with this because I need
Okay.
someone to be able to,
That's
in
fine.
case it gets to me because I've never done it.
Okay, no, that's fine. It's better to stay in twos because that's really what we
Yeah.
usually do anyway, so we'll
I
just
don't want to go separate.
stay in twos.
Are we playing hide and seek?
Michelle told us that she's seen several children in the house, and they look pale and sickly.
I see you running in there. Are we going to play with all the toys?
We were wondering if they could be attached to the house, the toys that are in the doll room, or when we did some research, we found that there was also a soldiers' orphans home that opened up near the time of the villa's construction. Could they also be from there?
Do you see?
I don't know, I thought I saw something going down there.
When we were looking at the footage from the hallway, we saw what looked like a lens anomaly at first, but then it looks like it emerges from Kelly and changes directions. And it's right where she mentions that she sensed something in the
I
hallway.
know there was something right here when I walked by.
They're trying to intimidate us right now.
Yes, they are.
You're not allowed to do that to us. We're going to go in here and play with the kids.
I think they're trying to play with us, mess with us. You know when you got it there?
Got
Is
it.
it comfortable for you?
Mm-hmm. You just have to hit the record button.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
Ready. Oh my gosh. Oh my Lord. Oh, this is not nice. This is not nice at all. Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to give you the doll because it's bad. It's starting to make me
Ill?
oh yes.
Okay.
I'm about to cry. I got nothing but straight suffering and an evil laugh, and I can't picture who it is. And it's like a whole bunch of children in, I see like a mass grave. That's all I see, and just a dark cloud. That's it. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. Not that I'm scared cried, but I'm crying. I need you to tell me what happened, please. I can't see you. I need you to talk to me, please. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help you. That's all I keep seeing is a big grave and kids. Big grave and kids.
How many kids?
Dumped in there. There's got to be over 10 kids just dumped in this, and from little babies to older children. What the heck am I seeing?
Could it be from when the doctor was here and he did something to him and then he put him in that mass grave?
I don't know if I like this.
You want to stop?
No, I want to see what happens. I'm sorry.
Nope, you're good. You're good. Can you tell us what you're seeing?
Kids crying like they're trying to get out of this hole, this grave, this hole. That's all I see. It's a black hole with a whole bunch of kids, and they're screaming and want to be let out. What the hell is this? Okay, I'm gonna have to stop. I can't do this
Nope.
no more.
Nope, that's fine. I'm going to take these off your eyes. There.
Oh my
Okay.
God, I am sick.
There.
I don't think I can do that anymore.
No.
I need to be able to see and control myself. That was like a bad movie.
Feeling better?
Yeah. That just made me so ill.
Okay.
That was disgusting. That didn't even seem real. That didn't seem real at all.
When I was doing some research about the doll, I found that it had a similarity to Burmese marionettes. And about a year prior to our filming, there was news released of massacres and mass graves in Myanmar, which is formerly Burma. I think the marionette might be a Pana figure from the traditional Yokete puppet shows in Burma. And as it turns out, the Pana character is a royal astrologer famous for interpreting dreams. So I'm wondering if what Michelle is seeing could be a nightmare she's supposed to interpret, or could it be related to what secrets may have occurred in the house? Or could it possibly be related to the marionette's origin location?
The energy of the old dolls in there, and the marionette, and everything that's in there, that reminds me, like Kansas. You know, the tornado that took the house
from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. That's how that room felt. And adding to my torture, you know, we put the marionette on my lap, which as soon as it hit my lap, wow, what was coming off that doll, I was terrified. I almost felt, you know how they had the visual colored pictures, you know, in the Bible where you have the devils and all this fire, and it's supposed to scare you. I had that feeling. I felt like I was just going straight to hell, and it came alive.
Oh, wow.
So as I'm seeing this stuff, and I see, to me, I call it real time when I see. This was like a 8mm film, and I could hear it go in my ear. And I see this huge pit of children pulling their hands out. And I guess you said I had my hand out?
You had your hand out because you were going like this, saying like you were trying to help pull them out or something.
I was terrified. I have never been so scared. It was like I was trapped in my own mind.
Well, we took your senses away from you too, because we had headphones on you, we had a blindfold on you, and then you were listening, had the recording going live, and you're not used to that.
No, I literally felt like I was trapped in my own mind, and I have never felt. I don't know if I could ever do that again.
No, and then we had to stop it because it was getting too much for you, and we just
I have never.
So
experienced.
you're seeing something that you've never seen before, because normally you can actually see it, but now with you being blindfolded.
Why is all the lights going off over there?
The owners of the villa placed small cat toys around the house that light up when they're touched. And they did that partially so that they can see any spirit activity on their security cameras. Some of those toys were sitting on the bed in the doll room during the experiment with the marionette.
Something wants to play with us. That's what I keep getting.
In the process of our filming, we sent Alan ahead to the end of the hallway so he could film backwards towards Michelle and Kelly when they came out into the hallway. And when I was editing this shot, I noticed that there seems to be another light anomaly in the corner. And it's in the same area where Kelly sent something earlier. It might just be a camera issue, but we wanted to note it just in case.
I know there was something right here when I walked by. Hey, oh, there we go.
Let's roll the ball to each other. Can you do that for us? Your turn.
You don't have to be afraid. No one here is going to hurt you. Thank you.
Can you stop it for right now, please?
The playful spirits in the hallway seemed to be happy to activate the cat toys with touch. Always prepared, Michelle and Kelly had set up a recorder to catch any EVPs during the interaction as well. After the activity seemed to end, they reviewed the audio from their recorder. Finding nothing clear and audible, they decided to move on.
Well, since we're not playing anymore, we're going to go somewhere else.
These are cat balls.
Yeah.
But the good thing about it is they're not super sensitive, right?
No.
And when they're not super
You
sensitive...
gotta turn it on.
I did.
No, you didn't. You had it off.
There. But see how much work we had to do to get that to go on. I know when we were doing the doll experiment, the one on the bed started going crazy and there was no one there.
No.
Then we took it out in the hall.
Yep.
So we set up in the hallway because I knew I seen some kids playing in the hall. And we were really trying to get it to roll. But it just started blinking and having a good time, you know. But what it was the kids. And that was amazing because if, you know, showing people this is something really hard to do.
And it also showed that we weren't even anywhere near it, that
No.
we were back off, and that all we did is just set it down, and then that was it, and we backed off.
Here, what Kelly and Michelle are attempting is communication with Charles Donovan. That's the veteran who took his own life in this room. And they're using a variation on what is known as a Gansfeld experiment. Kelly is sitting in Charles's room, blindfolded. She's got a red light shining on her and headphones on that are connected to an audio recorder, so she can hear through the filter of the microphone what's happening in the room. And with her senses deprived from the blindfold and the red lights and the headphones, she is focusing very intently on what she can hear. And here in this situation, she's acting as the receiver. Michelle is outside the room in the hallway, and she's acting as the sender here.
If you're in there with Kelly, can you tap her on her shoulder?
So what she's doing is talking to Charles and asking him to send information to Kelly in the other room.
Can you say something to her?
And she's also using that Phasma box that we mentioned earlier.
You know, she's a veteran too. You gonna talk to her so she doesn't kill herself? Tell her not to kill herself. Tell her not to do what you did. Say it right now. Stop her.
Somebody said no.
Bring up this.
Who was that talking? Someone so sad. Why are they sad?
Is she feeling what you're feeling before you died?
No. Why are you doing that? No. No. I'm not gonna go back there. Tell me your name. Why won't you tell me your name? Are you afraid to tell me your name? Why do you want me to call 911? Is somebody hurt?
You're getting messed with really bad. So, shake it off real quick for me.
Okay.
And let me ask the questions because it's now chuckling because we're both playing back and forth.
Okay. I thought I felt it on my leg. I felt something on my leg, down on my shin.
Okay.
Maybe that's what it was, and it was messing with me. For some reason, I just keep getting Jonathan.
This room. They're like all over.
Did I say
Is it okay if I
Oliver?
stand up?
Sure.
I heard Oliver.
Oliver?
Yes.
Okay.
Is he pacing up and down the hallway or in here?
He's in there with you. That's why I'm trying to figure out what's going on because he knows. I'm trying to get him to help you.
That's just strange because normally they're not afraid.
Do you see the shadow? I mean, literally, there's a shadow moving. Do you see it? And there is a shadow coming across over there. Are you okay in there?
Yeah, I'm fine. Okay.
All right. Shut yourself down. Shut yourself down. Shut it down. Go slow. Deep breath. Go slow.
Can you turn that light off, please?
Yep, I will here in 2 seconds. Now you're really in the dark.
That's fine.
But you're gonna have to get out of that chair for me and stand up and walk away from the chair, please.
Yeah.
Here. You good?
Yeah. I felt like he was about to choke me. I've never had that before.
I was watching it. You're good. That's why I said, 2 minutes and you were done.
Okay.
I'll just take a breath. You have to breathe. This one I can't help you through. Come on. Take a breath. There you go. There you go. You got this. Just take a breath. All good. Out of the room.
Okay. I'm good.
Okay. Good?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. You're sounding like a man. You sure you're not possessed?
My voice is going.
I think they dropped.
After Michelle added a little comedy to the situation, they decided to call it quits on that particular experiment.
I was sitting in the chair. I had headphones on with a recorder, and I had a white blindfold on. Right in front of me was a lamp with a red light. Then Michelle went out into the hallway with a phasma box. She was asking it questions, and then if I heard anything, I would repeat it.
And you did.
Yeah, I did repeat it, and I felt something touching my leg. All of a sudden, I felt like I was getting choked, and then that's when we had to say, "Okay, that's it. We got to stop this."
But the crazy thing is, as you were getting things stirred up, you being under, you could actually see a full shadow walk right past it. At that same moment is when you started getting choked. And it was the craziest thing, because it was shadow, 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 and then it had to come into you.
Yeah.
I'd like to know where they're going. But like I said, the shadows were coming there. That kept calling me while you were in here. There were shadows going up towards the attic. It's like we're going to run around in circles tonight.
I think they're playing games with us.
We need to figure out which way to go. Do we go in there to see if we can get Eleanor, or...
Yeah, because that was her room in there. She mostly stayed in.
I don't like to be played like this, though. This is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're trying to take us in different directions. I think it wants to separate us.
Oh.
And
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
I wonder what would happen if we did.
I don't know.
I don't want to find out right now.
No.
Okay.
That's why we decided to stay together.
Yeah.
Why we were both doing this.
Okay.
Because it's not good. Because that's our motto. We always stay in twos.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Even though we were going to try and do me in this room, you in that room, but I think we both probably would have got attacked.
They decided to move to the adjacent sitting room to attempt communication with anyone else in the house. What happened next is obviously up to debate, but what we think happened is that when Charles left Kelly, he continued to follow us to the next room. And while we were all preoccupied with filming the current investigation, he took the opportunity to jump into Keena, our production assistant.
Are you okay over there? Sorry, I know I probably shouldn't be talking to you, but I really need to be talking to you.
Sounds like you're really sad.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I'll be okay.
Can you step away from her, please?
Do I need to go over there?
Just give it just a second. I want her to fight it off real quick, because it's
Okay.
messing with her. I need you to step away from her, please. I command you to step away from her. It is all up on her. You might want to go over there to her.
Okay. Take some deep breaths.
We're going to have to take her out of this situation.
Okay, I gotta
Can
get
we-
her.
yeah,
I gotta
get her out of this
here.
room like really fast. Okay,
I gotta open the door here.
come on.
Come on. Let's get out here.
It's attacking her emotionally right now. Okay.
Leave her alone. Leave. I command
Okay, she just needs to have her count to 10. Get her breathing controlled.
Come on.
Count to 10, hon.
Take a deep breath in.
Really slow.
Let out.
You're good. You okay? Just hold on to the bracelets. Those are the angels. The angels are close to you, honey. Just breathe and listen to it. Okay, we're gonna get her downstairs and get her some water, because that's how she. You hold on to the bracelets. Just hold on to them. I'll get them here in a minute. You good?
I think this is the first.
Hold on. We have that
careful.
effect on people. Sorry.
Let's go down. Do you want to step out? We'll step outside for a few minutes, okay?
I'm Kina. I started to feel different as we were going from room to room. At that point, it was getting pretty bad. I started feeling shaky and just not very good. Kelly and Michelle noticed, and Michelle mentioned to me that I was being followed by spirit, and I definitely felt that way. It scared me a bit to be told that, but it validated how I was feeling.
There is actually some entity walking around. I cannot make out what it is. It is actually a black shadow, and it has been swarming her all night. And I kept trying to get her out. Even when we were downstairs, something stopped me to make sure I walked upstairs with her. And it was taken over there, and then she started feeling all the emotions. It just sucked right into her.
Just happened all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You need to control your breathing down so you don't hyperventilate, okay?
Okay. So Kelly is a healer and a grounding person for the team. She was extremely helpful for me. I felt a lot better.
What we found interesting was that this wasn't the last time he did this. The very next day, we were doing another live stream event from the house. And the hosts of that event invited Michelle and Kelly to be guests on their show as well, and they did the investigation in the McInteer's attic. This happened to be directly above the room where we think Charles jumped Kina. And right after he did this attack, it looks like he jumped right back into Kelly.
Gonna be good because they are getting mad and they don't like it.
So this is a very good example of why you should always investigate with partners and protections, both spiritual and physical. In this case, Michelle and Kelly were intentionally letting their guards down a little bit in order to communicate more effectively, but as a result, they may have been taken advantage of.
You know what really, really scared me? Kina.
Oh, yes. Kina.
I noticed all night as she was with us, she was always by herself, even though we were wanting her with, but she always kind of stayed out and constantly by herself. She was attacked here.
Yes, she was.
And it broke my heart. She was shaking.
And she was shaking.
She was shaking horribly. Oh my gosh.
She was. And so I went over there and I was holding her, trying to get her calmed down. That's when we went out in the hallway. She got a little calmed down and then we took her outside. Did even more.
I think we should do the basement instead of the attic.
What do you guys think is going on down there?
A lot.
Really?
What isn't going on down there? This is just the stories we've heard, so I don't know.
When you say
But
the stories you've heard, do you mean
It's like the
from
history.
spirit or from
No,
actual
not from spirit, from actual
Living.
breathing
Yeah.
people.
Living people.
Spirit says different.
Okay.
They say more of they're trapped. They're not happy. Bad things have happened down there
Yeah.
because something's hidden behind the walls.
There's a lot of people who
Really?
say that. They want to break down that brick.
RIP has set up their own SLS rig for investigations. The rig consists of a tablet and a structured light sensor. A grid of invisible-to-the-eye infrared dots projects in front of the sensor, and then a computation occurs calculating the distance between the dots. This allows the software to calculate changes in the dots, which it then reacts to, analyzes, and reports as movement. The camera's software can use this information to recognize human shapes and highlights it as a stick person on the tablet's screen.
There was a stick figure.
There was a big stick. Whoa.
There it is again.
No,
Now
okay.
that's on the, whatever that is, whatever that is down there. Now see, you moved and it's not there no more.
Well, that's just odd. See,
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
Look at that. So is that giving us a false positive?
I feel like it is because see how it's jimming around a little bit? So it's using that water heater and it's trying to form it into a figure.
The technology was originally invented for video games that needed to detect human movement, but was repurposed for paranormal investigation.
Hey. Oh, something just touched me. Yeah, really.
Now this is a cold, dark, creepy room.
I want to see if I can bring something in because I'm going to be sitting, and if something comes in, it will come behind me, beside me.
Okay.
Do you want to try that?
Yeah.
All
Try
right.
it.
Ooh.
Since you got that, I'll hold it.
Okay.
All right, Michelle, I'll try holding this thing.
Okay, we got her. She's good that way.
So
Okay,
this is
so
me.
it's mapping you.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to put my hands down.
Hey, wait a minute. What are you doing there?
Even though you're standing still, for some reason they still move.
Yeah.
The little dots still move. We haven't figured that out why, but
The
it
dots
just
are
does.
caressing your sacral chakra. Ooh.
That's that kind of paranormal show.
Yeah. Obviously, we're going to cut that out.
I don't think you should.
All right, we'll leave it in.
If you're here with us right now, I invite you to come next to me. I know you have a story. There's a message you might want to give to a family member.
If you stand beside Michelle, we'll take your picture with her.
Come down. I want to play. Oh,
Wait, what's that? There's something in front of you now, but it's all way out there. I wonder.
You sure it's not behind me?
It's off the side of you.
And would that be my right side, Kelly?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
No, we
gone.
lost it. Okay, now there she is. There's Michelle.
Yeah, you're there, but it's gone now. It almost looked like a large dog or something.
I just was feeling something on my arm, but I couldn't see anything, but it was on my right side only. That's why I was asking you the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The SLS rig did seem to detect something in the basement, but with the night running long, the team decided to wrap up the investigation.
Don't leave me down here.
How you doing?
This weekend was about showcasing this place,
Yeah, it wasn't
showing
about...
the elegance of it, and it reminds me almost of like a Stephen King movie, that elegant haunting, and that's what people miss here.
Yeah. You need to work as a team. That's why our group does so well, because we work as a team.
I really think we need to get more paranormal groups to do something like this to really make
agree.
them, one, feel valued,
Yes.
and second, let them shine too, because not everybody's going to have that 5 minutes of
No.
fame. And
No.
it shouldn't be about that.
No, it shouldn't.
I want 10 minutes of fame, not 5.
Please, girl.
There's clearly more work to be done here to communicate with the intelligent spirits and hear their stories. It's our hope that other investigators could visit the location to conduct their own experiments or try out RIP's methods in different locations. If you're more into history and hard facts, see what you can dig up doing your own research about Atchison as well as the McInteer Villa. And please share your results with the rest of this Paranormal Nation.